Why not have a go? Oh, it's multi still on the screen. Ahoy, everybody. Welcome back. Magic Round Friday night footy continues. The Sharks got the win over the Eels, but now we've got the Roosters and the Dolphins. Should be another great game. I'm expecting, honestly, another close one here. Going to go down to the wire between these two teams. Quiz Juice asks who I've got winning. Oh, I am leaning ever so slightly towards the Roosters in this one. Ever so slightly. Hi there, mate. Says I really like the Reds because they visited a school in Fiji today. Oh, that's awesome. And the Reds have a strong connection with Fijian rugby as well, don't they? They've had quite a few over the years. Fantastic players. So, same game multi for this one, which I don't have on the screen. We have gone with Angus Crichton, Marky Mark, Nwanga Tuase, the Hammer, and Herbie the Love Bug. It is one crazy same game multi, but fingers crossed. I mean, it really is insane. The wild one. But I love a good wild multi. Filippo Dalguno. Dalguno. Yes. What a beast. Oh. Be right back. Completely forgot my mixer. All right. Dolphins. Roosters. Kickoff. And it is the Dolphins who get us underway. Roosters with first use of it. Now, I do have a multi on this game. Maybe we can get it sorted out throughout the course of this half. We've got a multi in this one. Flo Lacey, you've picked the Chooks. So did I. I'm locked in now, but I've got a sneaky suspicion that the Dolphins might just get this. It is the ultimate fence sit. I understand that. I'm sitting on the fence, not picking one way or the other, but fifth and last now for the Roosters, who put it high. The Hammer claims it at the back. Oh, he's solid. Mel says, come on, Fins. Quiz Juice, anything can happen at Magic Round. Absolutely. Oh, boy. No surer words have been spoken. Fins up, says my leg. Down the short side go the Dolphins. Tommy Gilbert. He's been immense, hasn't he? Tom Gilbert. 40 out from their own line. Fifth and last. A minute and a half gone. Back for Katoa to clear. A good kick, but Tupou's under it. Now, the Dolphins are just another team to add to that list of teams that are kicking to Daniel Tupou's wing. I've been struggling, in all honesty, to understand the reasoning in kicking to Tupou's wing, especially when you've got essentially a rugby league rookie in Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase on the other wing. Wouldn't you be peppering him with the high balls and the kicks? As Teddy plays it now, 40 out from the line. Sandon Smith. Boy, was he immense on ANZAC Day. Sandon Smith. Fifth and last. 30 out from the line. Savala puts it high. This is a contestable ball. Teddy's there. Looks to bat it back. And he's knocked it on. Teddy's knocked it on. 2.5 gone. The Dolphins will get the ball here. No score, of course, early in this one. Big defense from the Rooster. Flo Lacey, you've gone Sharks, Roosters, Rabbitohs, Cowboys, Tigers, Titans for the upset, Broncos, and Storm. Some ambitious calls there as our first high contact penalty of this game goes to the Dolphins. Tumadom says go Dolphins. Paul, yes, the Sharkies got the win. Sharkies got the win. 28 points to 18, I believe the final score was. Three minutes gone in this one. Dolphins on the attack. 30 out. Katoa shows inside, goes outside. And Lemu Elu will play it. 20 meters out from the line. Katoa to the hammer. Through the hands they go. Avarillo. 10 out. Katoa out the back it goes now for Marshall King. And now Herbie the Love Bug keeps the ball alive. Back to the hammer. Nicarima now onto Gilbert. And that's play 4 for the Dolphins. 15 out. Katoa takes the line on. Now gives it to Nicarima. Heads back towards the post. The hammer. Half a gap almost opened up for him. And that's all he needs. Fifth and last. And from dummy half. Probably the wrong option there. Marshall King. A meter out from the line. That will be the handover. All right, so I've gone extremely chaotic and wild for my same game multi on this one. Reason being, it's a free hit on Sportsbet at the moment. For this game, $50 cash back and bonus bets if any leg fails. It's a free shot, basically. So I went pretty wild with it. I got $50 on Angus Crichton, Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase, The Hammer, and Herbie the Love Bug. 4 legs, $50, $1,550 potential return. At worst case scenario, $50 cash back. Regardless, it's a free shot. When you get those any leg returns, you go all out for them and try and be reasonable, of course, but try and maximize profit. Dolphins back in possession here inside their own 10. Kenneth says the Dolphins are looking sharp. Looking very sharp. Until then, well, we put the commentator's curse on them. Out the back it goes. And they've collected the loose ball. But we've got time off. A little injury stoppage here as Sandon Smith. That would be a big loss for the Roosters. He was shrugged off in the tackle, and he has banged his head on the turf. And he looks a little dazed and confused. This could be a huge turning point. Sandon Smith, he will have to go off the field for HIA, you would think. He's in Disneyland at the moment. Smashes his head on the ground. And he'll be off for a HIA. Sandon Smith is a massive loss here for the Roosters. And he is hobbling off the field. Wow. This changes everything. This could be a massacre. This could be a massacre now. DJ Shaq, ahoy, mate. The Roosters, 6 minutes into this contest, forced into a massive, massive reshuffle. Katoa kicks downfield. And Teddy brings it back. Ollie is the best. Ahoy, mate. And Jonathan says ahoy as well. Quiz Juice says, had Smith in your multi. Bugger. Well, at least it's still so early in the contest, you should get that returned. Depending on what bookie you're with, they usually return if somebody's scrubbed out of a game very early. Connor Watson, who's shifted out. Zach Docker-Clay will come on, I assume, and play hooker, and Connor Watson will shift out to 6. Fifth and last here for the Roosters. 30 out from the line. Savala puts this one high. Not a lot of distance on it, and it's lost forward by Nwanga Tuase. And a handover for the Dolphins. Slow start to this contest. Both teams obviously just feeling each other out. Not in a sexual way, UFC. Although that would make for some interesting viewing. So as I said, I've gone pretty crazy with my same game multi in this one. Angus Crichton, Nwanga Tuase, the Hammer, and Herbie Farnworth. Katoa from inside the 40. It bounces over the head of Teddy. But it's there for him inside the 20. And he's okay. Wow. Sandon Smith's done. Sandon Smith is officially ruled out. Category 1, HIA. Sandon Smith, 6.5 minutes into the contest, is ruled out of this match. It took them 2 minutes. 2 minutes only to establish that he could take no further part in this game. That is a huge loss for the Roosters. RIP multi. Fifth and last, down the short side. Watson to Billy Smith. Flick pass to Tupou. Gets it back for Crichton. Crichton with the crossfield kick. Oh, it's a shocker. It might still work out for them, but Toya loses it forward. Trent Robinson not happy up in the coach's box. How have we ended up in a situation where Angus Crichton's doing the kicking on the fifth and last, for crying out loud? That's what he's thinking. Roosters in big trouble, says Kenneth. Flo Lacey says the Chooks are done. The narrative in the chat room seems to be the same. I mean, when you lose a crucial part of your halves combo, a crucial part of your spine this early in a contest, it makes it very difficult, doesn't it? We've seen what's happened to the Panthers when Nathan Cleary's had to leave early in contests. If you know going into the game that they're not going to be playing, it's completely different than losing somebody after the fact. As the Dolphins put this high, Tedesco comes away with it. They're controlling territory at the moment, though, the Roosters, and they're doing it well. Loose pass here, though, and it sits up nicely for Smith. Not Sandon Smith. Billy Smith. Just short of halfway. Here's Sir Angus into Dolphins territory. Docker-Clay to Radley. Out the back it goes for Savala. And now Wong keeps it alive. Flick pass for Tedesco. Tedesco offloads for Toya. Toya beats one. He beats another. And Toya dives over to score out wide. The Roosters with the first try. And as I was saying, they don't need Sandon Smith. They'll be just fine without him. They've got ball players all over the park, and they don't need him. First try of the night to the Roosters from 40 metres out. Long distance, Jones. Tedesco keeps the ball alive to Toya. A weak attempt at tackle there from Nikorima. And Robert Toya with the first try. What a start for the Roosters, but we've seen this before, haven't we? The Roosters start very well. Dan Jam, is Dom Young back in the side or he's still dropped? He is still dropped. Dominic Young's been given the rocket and said, work your stuff out, mate. Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase taking his place on the wing. Michelle, ahoy there. Tick me off. Says this is a good live, like the old days. This is good live, like the old days. Bring back the biff. Yeah, bring it back as this conversion attempt from Hugo Savala hooks across the face of the post. And it remains 4 points to 0. Kenneth says the Roosters are looking good, if I didn't say so already. Bring it back. Bring back the biff. DJ Shack says, how good has Robert Toya been? From an unknown to establishing his name as one of the better centers in the comp. 100% there, DJ Shack. As far as I'm aware, DJ Shack, even Robert Toya wasn't even supposed to be playing. He's got a little bit of the Shibasakis about him, right? Shibasaki was never meant to be playing for the Broncos. He was there purely as a backup, was never meant to start. I'm pretty sure that Robert Toya was in the same boat for the Roosters. And these guys are two examples of players that just, boom. They've been given a chance and they've kicked the door down. And the Roosters now with some momentum. Angus Crichton stands in a 4-man tackle. One player drops off, though. And it's a 3-man that he stays standing tall on the halfway line. Tedesco to Savala. Dummies. Takes the line on Savala. Fifth and last. 40 metres out. Short side for Tedesco to kick. Well, that was shithouse. And the hammer takes it. Dolphins back in possession. No more kicks for Tedesco. That'd be my call from the coach's box. No more kicks for Teddy. Dolphins finding it hard going at the moment. Flip. Thank you very much for the heart me over there on TikTok. Nikorima at first receiver. Steps into a gap. He's over halfway and brought down from behind by Victor, the inflictor. Fifth and last. Katoa puts it high into the corner. Nwanga Tuase is under it. Takes it well. And brings it back to the 20. Marky Mark. Ghost says Cowboys or Wars. Oh, look, I'm leaning towards the Warriors, but I'm leaning towards them with very little confidence, to be honest. There's some good games this weekend. Some really, really good close games. And that will be another one. Tedesco heads across field, straightens now as he finds Nikorima, but Nikorima stands his ground. They stay on the short side, the Roosters. Savala. Onto Toya. Toya beats the first tackle again, but he goes to ground. Fifth and last, 30 out. Savala with the crossfield kick. It's a little too heavy, and it's an easy take at the back for Asako, who's brought down 15 out from his own line. Dolphins ball. The Roosters looking to just keep the Dolphins pinned down here, and they're doing it successfully at the moment. I can't recall. With 15 minutes gone, I can't recall the Dolphins ever been in the Roosters' red zone yet. Tackle 4. And they're only just now outside the 40. Katoa to the hammer, bats it on forward, and then it's been lost by Tupou as well. Forward pass, knock on, forward by the Dolphins, knock on Roosters. Roosters will get the ball here. And this is a clear regression from the Dolphins. They were looking like they sort of had everything together. Mark O'Brien, ahoy, mate. Says Teddy, a good fullback, but not a good kicker, as we just bore witness to previously. Nice to see you again there, Mark O'Brien on the Facebook Live. On the attack now, go the Roosters. Watson to Spencer Leniu. 20 metres out, just to the left of the post. They are on tackle 3. Back to midfield for Watson. Flat pass there for Wong. Or is that White? Sorry, Nafahu White. Nafahu White, 10 metres out. Docker Clay scoops it up from dummy half. Feeds it to Victor Radley. And Victor Radley scores. Well, I had the wrong forward. I had Angus Crichton. I should have gone Victor Radley. 8 points to 0. The Roosters. And like we said earlier, they don't need Sandon Smith. They'll be just fine without him. Try time for the Rooster. They've got their second. 8 points to 0. Kick to come. Not my try scorer, but Brandon Barker, the Sharks won the last game if nobody answered. Kick to come from right in front. Hugo Savala with the conversion. It's 10 points to 0 Roosters. Back underway, and it's Marky Mark Nwanga Tawase. Driven back in the tackle from the kickoff. 10 points to 0. Well, the Dolphins, they've got to get their heads into this game. Sandon Smith has indeed been ruled out. Junior Mayweather, very early on in the piece, to be losing a player. Spencer Leniu. What a run. Docker Clay catches them napping out of marker. Out of dummy half. Fifth and last now on halfway. The Roosters, they've got a roll on here. Savala kicks. That's the... Oh, and lost at the back by Bostock and 2 smoking barrels. He was under no pressure. Held it. And then lost it. Jack Bostock. Oh, that's a big error. That is a huge goof up. A goofy Magood. And here come the Roosters again now. $10 points to 0. Scrum down right in front of the posts. 10 meters out. Looking for more points here, the Roosters. The Dolphins, wake up, huh? Wake up. Roosters, they break left. And it's Savala who takes the line on. 5 meters out, just to the left of the posts. On play 1, Leniu at first receiver. Wrapped up in a 3-man tackle. They can't bring him to ground. Savala inside, it goes for Radley. Already got 1 try. He's broken any sort of drought that he was on. White used as the decoy. Out the back for Tedesco. To Tupou, who's hit hard by Asako. Great defense. A couple of tackles left. Savala in midfield. Fifth and last. Well, that takes Savala out of the kicking duties. Don't give it to Tedesco. Here's Watson to Tedesco. Tedesco with the grubber kick in behind the line. And Bostock and two smoking barrels dives on it for a goal line dropout. And that was better. I'm okay with Tedesco putting grubber kicks in behind the line, but just his kicking in general play has proven to be quite offensive. A little grubber in behind the line like that, that's fine. That worked out quite well. Goal line restart here from Asako. Docker Clay takes it on halfway, and he's got Nafahu White. Brings it back to the 30. Spencer Leniu, the crash ball. Minafuaki stands his ground, and he's got some support there from Mark Nichols, a couple of big lads. Savala heads across to the right. He's got Tedesco, and Toya puts the fend off. Flick pass for Marky Mark, and Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase scores in the corner. Potentially. Try's been awarded. Will it be confirmed? There's a tick off the multi. Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase, and the Roosters extend their lead. The Dolphins are still asleep. Good Lord, as good as Sandon Smith has been, maybe they should have kicked him out of the team long ago. $14-0 with the kick to come. 22 minutes gone. Try confirmed. Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase, a tick off the multi. All right, now I still need Angus Crichton, the hammer, and Herbie Farnworth. What an effort. Mark O'Brien, Brandon Smith is definitely done his dash with the Roosters. Brandon Smith is off to the Rabbitohs next season. From the sideline, Savala hits the upright and bounces away. Another missed conversion. That's a couple left out there. 14-0. UFC says, I was going to ask you about that, actually. What do you think happened there with the cheese? Well, I mean, he's injured. He's out injured, for starters. But I think the Melbourne Storm used Brandon Smith really well. He would either start the game and then start the game in hooker and then shift out and play in the middle, and Harry Grant would come on. Over at the Roosters, he's been expected to play number 9 from start to finish. They've tried to turn him into an 80-minute player, which I just personally don't think suits him. When Brandon Smith moves to the Rabbitohs, Wayne Bennett will make proper use of him. He's a hell of a excuse me. He's a hell of a pickup. Not that they necessarily need him, because Mamazoulis has been going quite well. But yeah, just a different role, used differently. I mean, Craig Bellamy is a master coach as well. I think Wayne Bennett will get the best out of him. Nothing against Trent Robinson. I just don't think the Roosters knew how to use the cheese to full effect. Asako beats one. Brings it back to the 30. Dolphins in possession. Scooting away from dummy half and finding some space there is Avarillo. Pinafawaki will take tackle 3 here on halfway. And bobbling the ball, but doing well to hold on there. Was that Gilbert? It was Tommy Gilbert. Nearly comes up with the mistake. 5th and last. Short side play. Katoa puts it high. Tupou's under it again. Teams persist with kicking to Tupou's edge. I don't really understand it. The real thing. Yes, the Sharks held on. And as a matter of fact, ended up extending their lead to defeat the Eels in the opening game. And it is the Roosters leading early here, 14 points to 0. Docker Clay goes to Radley. Radley pops it up for White. White beats the first defender. White with a strong carry, 30 metres out now. 5th and last. Savala puts the kick up down the middle. Tedesco chasing. It's been lost by the Dolphins. Still the last tackle. Toya out to Marky Mark. Puts the goosey goose on. Flick pass back for Tedesco. He's got Toya. Flicks it out the back for Savala. They're keeping it alive here. Radley to Docker Clay. And Docker Clay scores a miracle try. They just kept the ball alive, the Roosters. You want to talk miracle tries. You want to talk more ass than class. Well, they've got this out of absolutely nowhere. The Dolphins. What's going on here? Battered back by Tedesco. And then they just kept the ball alive somehow. Offload, offload, offload. There was about 5 offloads in that little sequence of play. And they've somehow kept the ball alive. Zach Docker Clay as the Dolphins just ran out of troops. Oh, tell me you got that ball down, Zach. Tell me you got that ball down. Please tell me he grounded this. I'm not 100% convinced of that grounding. I am not 100% convinced of this grounding. Here's a replay. It's up in the air there, and then it bobbles out. I don't think he scored this. I don't think he scored this. After all that. Let's have a look. Has he grounded it here? You would have to think. You would have to think yes. Oh, boy. I'll tell you what. If this try is not given, Zach Docker Clay is going to get the biggest, goofiest of all goofs in the history of all the goofs. It's gone up as a try. That's the important thing here. The crucial thing for the Roosters. This has gone up as a try initially. So they have to find conclusive evidence to overturn this. Oh, no. Here comes the conclusive evidence. They don't want a blowout. Magic round. They don't want a blowout. He scored it there. There it's on the ground. Oh, no. Wow. Zach Docker Clay has lost this over the line. No try. Oh, wow. I'll tell you what, they don't want a blowout on Magic Round, night 1. There can't be a blowout in night 1 of Magic Rounds. Oh, the Dolphins have got to make full use of this. They have been presented an almighty lifeline here. 14 points to 0 it remains as that try has been overturned. And up to halfway go the Dolphins. McGregor, Orchard, ahoy, mate. Here's Katoa with the inside ball for Finafawake. Nikarima. Out the back it goes to the Hammer. And the Hammer takes it inside the 30. Fifth and last now for the Dolphins. Nikarima puts the kick up. Tedesco's there. Tedesco takes it. UFC says, is it a bitch move to get soy milk? Not at all. Soy milk is actually better for you. It's lower in calories. So if one is conscious of that sort of thing. It's also a thing. Me, myself, I'm lactose intolerant, so I prefer the non-full dairy milks. But I digress. No, it's not a bitch move at all. Fifth and last. Roosters put the kick in. Savala down to the Hammer. Hammer has got support back there with Asako. Asako's wrapped up just outside the 20. Big defense here from the Roosters. Hammer in at first receiver. Just shuffles it on here to Bostock. "30 meters out from the line. The Dolphins have just made no inroads whatsoever into the Roosters' defense at the moment. Fifth and last on halfway. Scott Wood, ahoy, mate. Katoa puts the kick up. And Tupou, again, under the high ball. Easy take. Why do they keep kicking to Tupou? Penalty to the Roosters. And a nice little piggyback upfield for them incoming. Josh Kerr getting ready to come on, huh? Flo Lacey, yes. Fingers crossed. Wastewater Sports coming up this weekend. All of Magic Round, potentially. I do hope to sneak in some Super Rugby somewhere along the line, and we'll also be doing the Miami Grand Prix Formula One. The Formula One streams have been going quite well, so we'll keep those going. Formula One back again this weekend. 40 meters out from the line. Docker Clay down the short side with Tedesco. Tedesco has got Toya, and Toya is brought down 30 meters from the line. Tedesco at first receiver. Dummies inside. Goes outside now where Savala loses it. Got a little bit ahead of himself. Hugo Savala just got a little bit ahead of himself there, the young fella. And the mistake is made. $14 to 0. Should have been more, in all honesty. How the bunker overturned that. Well, it's anybody's guess, really, how that got overturned. But anyway, it is what it is. Going to be very interesting to see how the turf holds up over the course of Magic Round. I think we might get some very slushy, low-scoring games on Sunday. Michelle Ben, ahoy there. Go Rooster. Who are doing the job at the moment. 9 minutes to go until the halftime break. And leading this quite comfortably and controlling the game at the moment. 14 to 0. Katoa, dummies inside. Takes it into contact. Fifth and last. The 20 meters out. Nikarima on the short side. Dinks it in over the top. And Mark Nwanga Tuase flies above everybody and takes that high ball 5 meters out from their own line. The Roosters have diffused that high ball. Well, it doesn't matter which side of the field they go to. Those high balls are getting diffused. West Morrow says, go Dolphins. Martin Kenny says, Dolphins will gain itself when the strength is building up. There's still a lot of support in the chat rooms for the Dolphins. As the Roosters get a penalty now. Holding down in the ruck again. The Dolphins just seem very flat. There seems to be no emotion whatsoever in the players at the moment, positive or negative. They just look very uninterested. The crowd are dead, says Do or Die. And the Dolphins are dead too, by the looks of it. Just very emotionless. Mr. Ed's dead, says go, Roosters, go. Savalo with the inside ball, hands it off. Steep will play it 30 meters out. Now it's on for the Roosters. Watson, flick pass out for Tupou. Tupou in half a gap. He's brought down 15 meters out. Tackle 3. Docker Clay at first receiver to Radley in midfield. At the back now for Savala. And Tedesco through the hands. They go to the right. Toya tries to get on the outside of Farnworth. He's brought down 5 out. A couple of tackles left. Radley. And he gets the pass on to Egan Butcher, who spills it. Egan Butcher spills it. And a mistake from the Roosters. Let off for the Dolphins. RJ says Wayne Bennett needed big time. We've talked a lot about the Wayne Bennett curse. When Unky Wayne leaves the team, what happens to them? We thought that they'd broken free of that curse. The Dolphins have shown some good performances, but they've definitely been inconsistent. That's for sure. 30 meters out from their own line. And a penalty for the Dolphins. Oh, they needed that. A nice little piggyback, and it looks like Victor Radley's copped a poke in the eye. Struggling to keep that eye open. Victor Radley. Oh, no. The kick to touch has not found the sideline. It goes from bad to worse for the Dolphins. They got a penalty which was going to piggyback them down into the Roosters' red zone. They've tried to chew off too many meters, and Tupou's kept it in field. Incredible work there from Daniel Tupou. And it just goes from bad to worse for the Dolphins here in this first half. Roosters back inside Dolphins territory. Radley to Watson. Shows it inside, shows it outside. Watson takes the line on. And he's tackled on the 5th and last. 30 meters out. Back for Savala. Not a very good kick, but it is contestable. And it's been taken by the Roosters. Tedesco has it. But he's wrapped up, and that will be the handover. Four minutes to go until the break. And the Dolphins have just been pinned down their own end. I don't think they've had one attack, really. One serious attack on the Roosters line. It's been incredible this first half. I should imagine, though, 14 points to nil is certainly not insurmountable. 14-0 at the break. Whilst they wouldn't be happy, of course. As now, straight through, goes Sean O'Sullivan. Is that Sean O'Sullivan? No, it's Lemuel. God, well, two completely different players there. 5th and last, Dolphins have got a chance. Katoa puts it high. Tedesco's there, but the Hammer takes it, and the Hammer scores. It's tick number 2 off the multi, and the Dolphins might have just woken up. Their first real opportunity, and the hammer has outleapt Tedesco. And once again, that puts to bed any discussion about Tedesco playing Origin this year, because he just gets destroyed in the air by everybody. Forwards, backs, it doesn't matter. Tedesco gets beaten in the air. And the hammer has just done that with ease. We are once again halfway through this wild multi that we've got on. Marky Mark, Nwanga Tuase, Angus Crichton, the hammer, and Herbie the love bug. We're halfway there. Tedesco, I'm sorry, mate. You're just not Origin material anymore. He's just always getting out jumped, isn't he? The hammer. It took him a while to get his first try this season, but when he broke that drought, forget about it. Conversion attempt now from Asako. The Dolphins. Is that the wake-up call they needed? Asako hooks it through, and it's 14 points to 6. And they will now be ecstatic heading into the break. Because, as we know, this could have been so much worse for the Dolphins. So much worse. The fact that they're sort of within touching distance is crazy. Considering the half that they've had, it's been far from a good one. They should not really still be in this. Really. Roosters get us back underway. Still 2 minutes to go. Can they go back to back? Imagine going back to back and being only 2 points behind at the break. That would be insanity. Payne Haas says up the Chooks. Well, I wouldn't have thought Payne and the Haas would be going for the Roosters. Katoa with the inside ball for Francis. Where's Francis Molo? Set restart on the last tackle here for the Dolphins. Momentum. They're going to get their last chance before the break. 30 meters out, Katoa heads across field. He's got Nikarima. They continue left. Flat pass, run, and penalty to the Dolphins. Well, take the 2. Take the 2. 6-point margin going into halftime. Take the 2. This is a very kickable penalty. Six points at the halftime break. That is unreal. The Roosters have been way better than a 6-point margin at the break. This is a great result for the Dolphins, assuming that Asako kicks it, and I am assuming that he will. A relatively simple kick, this one. He should pop this one over with ease. All right, I finally got this multi sorted. So, we got Marky Mark Nwanga Tuase. We've got the hammer. And we've gone into the halftime break with 2 ticks down. Asako puts this one through. It's 14 points to 8 at the halftime break. A 6-point margin. A great result for the Dolphins. They've kept themselves alive. They've kept themselves in the contest. And it is going to be a mighty, mighty interesting second 40. A 6-point break, 6-point lead at the break Should have been so much more. Ahoy there, Alana. How are you? And remember, no Sandon Smith. Sandon Smith, 6.5 minutes into the game, ruled out with HIA. Category 1. So he'll be on stand down as well for a couple of weeks. Ha! Dolphins, the away team. It's that Suncorp, mate. Halftime here, 14 points to 6. Time for a quick break. And we'll be right back to sum up that first half. Actually, before I head off, let me just quickly get this up and running. I got the multi sorted out on the screen. So there we go. That's all good. Ready to roll. All right, halftime break. 14 points to 6. Roosters in the lead. Be right back after this. Let's enjoy, for the halftime break, the James Tedesco song. Huh? 1, 2, 3, 4. He's done it again, Teddy. He's lost his shorts.
1, 2, 3, 4. Teddy lost his shorts again. He's burning down the sideline. Boots blurred, defenders flatline. Eyes on the prize, he don't even flinch till his shorts get yanked and we all get a glimpse. He's got the moves, he's got the pace. The fullback fire, no one can chase. But every second game without fail, he moves the crowd like it's tales from the tail. Tedesco's got that power peach. Tears through lines like a one-man breach. Every try a cheeky show, 'cause someone always grabs too low. He's the king with the runaway pants. Flashing footy, fans from the stands might lose his kit, but never the ball. He scores, they cheer, we've seen it all. Go, go, Teddy, buns of steel. Spin through tackles like a damn pinwheel. A camera zoom, slow-mo reveal. Another week, another cheeky ordeal. Jerseys ripped, shorts halfway down. Still busts the line and owns the town. From Roosters fans to refs' surprise. The league's most famous gluteal thighs. He ain't trying to show it off, but every game becomes a strip-off. He shrugs it off, another dash. Just Teddy being Teddy with ass and flash. Tedesco's got that power peach. Lost his pants, but still in reach. Highlight reels got cheeks galore. He breaks the line, then breaks decor. Shorts down low, but pride stays high. Mooning defenders as he flies by. Booty legend, footy god. All hail Teddy, thong and all. Teddy, Teddy, trot the shore. Teddy, Teddy, crank the sport. Ice Tiger is our man, showing skis since he began.
Yes, halftime, 14 points to 6. James Teddy Tedesco has been very instrumental in that first half. The Roosters, though, I dare say, they won't be completely content with that. Only a 6-point lead at the break. Oh, the scoreboard hasn't updated. The Hammer did indeed score. Stoned Munchies. Oh, how good are the Stoned Munchies? But anyway, I digress. The Hammer did indeed score. 14 points to 8 it is. They got a penalty on the stroke of half-time, did the Dolphins. That hasn't updated for some reason. Let's do something about that. There we go. 14 points to 8 at the break. And the Dolphins are well and truly in this. Now, controversy, perhaps. Controversy. Because we talk about the crackdown on head highs. A little bit of controversy. Zach Docker Clay, the bunker intervening. That's where I was going with that. We talk about the head highs, but it's not always the head highs that are the issue. On this occasion, it was the bunker. The bunker intervening, overturning a decision of try. I don't believe for 1 second that there was conclusive enough evidence to overturn that Docker Clay try. And I don't have skin in the game either, so to speak. Zach Docker Clay, not part of my same game multi. This absolutely ridiculous, outrageous same game multi that I've got on. So, no skin in the game. Didn't really faze me one way or the other, but still, I don't understand how they found reason to overturn that. I really don't. But anyway, I mean, it happened. So, what can you do? That is the nature of the game at the moment. The bunker intervening, overturning that call, and yeah, off we go. That was pretty much a turning point of sorts in the contest. The no try for Zach Docker Clay. But still, for the Roosters, I mean, they should have, despite that, they've had so many more opportunities. And the Dolphins just seemed extremely flat and uninterested at the start of the game. They should have had this one already, the Roosters, quite frankly. I can't sugarcoat it for them. They should be so much further ahead and looking a lot more comfortable. The Dolphins, though, have hung in. I do have to raise questions. I really do. About keeping this one as a contest. It's the opening night of Magic Round. They want to see a contest. They want to keep this score nice and close. Flo Lacey says, I need Roosters to win this one. You've got 4 multis. And one of them you've got on the Dolphins. One of the 4 you've got on the Dolphins. Fair enough. This is my outrageous multi for this game. Well, I thought it was outrageous, but we're halfway there, aren't we? Mind you, we have got the 2 most obvious ticks of this multi done and dusted. Marky Mark, Nwanga Tawase, and the Hammer. Those are the obvious choices out of those 4 legs. Oh, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Souths and the Knights. Isaac Richardson says Dolphins, they'll come back. Let's go Dolphins. So Isaac looking for a Dolphins comeback. I think so as well. I think they'll be okay. I think they'll be hanging in there. The Dolphins only 6 points the difference. So, I mean, 6 points, converted try. That is quite obviously far from insurmountable. So, yeah, we've got game on here. A half that was largely dominated by the Roosters. And the Roosters, they probably should be a little bit further ahead. Hammer time. And it was the Hammer, of course, getting us a tick off our multi. Happy days. What will the second half bring? Two more legs to go in our 4-legger. Angus Crichton And Herbie the Love Bug Farnworth. Could it possibly happen? How good would it be? Actually, let's see. Remember last game? We had 2 of the 4 legs done at halftime, and we copped a really insulting cash-out offer. I'm not going to cash out because it was essentially a free bet, but I'm just curious, have they offered me... They have offered me something reasonable this time, at least. $38.27. I mean, it's not reasonable when you consider the outlay, but I mean, $7 they offered me last time. That was insulting. Jonah Tawati. Tawati? I'll just call you Jonah T. You need Teddy or Smith for $150 or $15. I hope you mean Billy Smith. Sandor Clegane. There's no deal. Oh, yes. No deal on that one. Cash out offer. No deal, Sportsbet. A says, are you going Roosters or Dolphins? Look, I tipped Roosters. I tipped Roosters with very little confidence. They may have just done enough in that first half to see them through in a tight one. UFC asks what's happened to James. He may still be lurking out there. We got to remember that James and Heel Fries, our regulars, are Eels supporters who might not be too happy at the moment. So, as we know, it's always difficult when your team loses. Sometimes you just need a little bit of a wind down away from everybody and away from everything. It's only sport at the end of the day, but we're very passionate about it, aren't we? It does affect our emotions positively and negatively. So maybe as an Eels supporter, Jamesy boy just needs a little bit of downtime at the moment. I know that it's always very difficult for me as a Sharks supporter. I mean, I know my team sucks, so I suppose that helps a little bit. So when the Sharks do lose, I do carry on with the streaming. It is difficult sometimes, though. Especially on occasions where it feels like they've been robbed. My leg asks, how do the Sharks suck? I've been a supporter my whole life, and we've only won 1 premiership, so I consider that pretty sucky, personally. When other teams out there have won like 4 in a row, or they're into double figures of premiership wins, a very, very difficult team to support. Oh, UFC says, I get that way when I lose money gambling. Oh, UFC, honestly, mate, some of the teams that I just randomly decide to hate is probably off the back of a grudge over some gambling thing. You can rest assured, I hold grudges. I can hold grudges for a very long time. If there's a team that I just suddenly start letting loose on the live streams, and you might be wondering, hang on, when did Dan start hating this team? They probably cost me a leg in a weekend-long multi and cost me a couple of grand. Haha. Flo Lacey says, at least the Sharks never merged. Well, this is true, but we've been bailed out a couple of times over the years, in fairness. But now the Sharks are in a very strong position. Absolutely no threat of merging at any point. A self-sustainable club now, but it did take some help. And there's nothing wrong with getting some help. As the second half is underway here, 6 points the difference. The Roosters in the lead. Can they keep it going in the second half? You feel like the Dolphins carried the momentum into the halftime break. despite being behind on the scoreboard. So it should be a very interesting opening 10 if the Dolphins can keep up the pressure. The Roosters obviously missing Sandon Smith off the field and ruled out 6.5 minutes into the contest. Fifth and last now for the Finns on halfway. They go down the far side and Katoa puts the kick up. And under no pressure at the back there, Tupou brings it back to contact. They keep kicking for Tupou. And there is Sandon Smith on the sideline. Ruled out. Category 1 concussion. Penalty now to the Roosters. Well, the Dolphins, they didn't want to do that, to state the obvious. That's a huge let-off early here in the second half for the Roosters. A nice little piggyback upfield incoming. Finding touch on halfway. It wasn't much of a kick. And in midfield, Angus Crichton will set up the first play. Inside ball there for Blake Steep. Steep carries it inside the 40. Slow play the ball. Nothing illegal about it. Tedesco hands it off here for Wong. Tackle 3, 35 out. In midfield, here's Radley at first receiver. To Savala, out the back for Watson. They continue to shift left. Watson inside the 20. Stands in the tackle. That's play 4. Savala, now they come right. Radley to Steep. Steep straightens, offloads, back for Docker Clay. Puts the fend on. He's got support there. Egan Butcher, 10 meters out, fifth and last. What can they come up with here? They stay short side. Watson with the double pump. A loose ball out the back is scooped up by the Dolphins, but it's called a knock on. Midfield scrum. It was battered down by the Dolphins. The hammer was away under the post there if that wasn't called up. Ains Stainton. Ahoy, mates. I had tipped the Rooster in this one. Rooster in a tight one. Roosters in a very, very close one. Golden point potential, I thought this game had. But a big moment here early in the second half, 3 minutes in. Roosters up by 6. They have a scrum, 10 out. Savala out the back to Tedesco. Numbers. And Marky Mark gets a double. Marky Mark bags a double for the Roosters. And they extend their lead. It's back out to 10. And that was just a little too easy. From the scrum, Tedesco and Savala breakaway to the right. It's 3 on 4. It's 3 on 4 there. And Tedesco's wrapped around to create the extra man. Well, they had no right to cause an overlap there, the Roosters. And that play was all down to James Teddy Tedesco. We saw it on the replay. Tedesco was giving Savala a pat on the shoulder like it's on, this way. To the right they went. And Marky Mark in the corner, his second try tonight. 18 points to 8. Easy there for the Roosters. Well, that has stemmed all the momentum that the Dolphins built up to carry into the halftime break. Savala from the sideline puts this on target, puts it on target. It shaves the upright and goes through. Conversion successful from out wide. 20 points to 8. The Roosters. Ains Stainton says, is James Tedesco the best fullback in the game? Oh, God. Now there's a loaded question. That would be up for serious debate as Asako gets us back underway. And the Roosters leading 20 points to 8 now. 5 minutes gone in the second half. They just wiped out all the momentum that the Dolphins earned themselves before the break. Angus Crichton, need him for any time try. Carries it out to the 30. Loaded short side. Tedesco goes straight up the middle. Tedesco needs support, and he has it. Savala's on the outside. He goes himself, Tedesco. Tries to put the Fenton on the hammer, and he's brought down 5 meters out. Quick play, the ball needed. Docker Clay goes from dummy half, and he's caught. Offloads back for Tedesco. Tedesco on the 5th and last. Big opportunity now for the Roosters. Savala, cut out pass for Toya. Spills it backwards. They keep it alive. Savala's got it. Puts the grubber in behind the line. Played at by the Dolphins. And they are now tackled half a metre out from their own try line. And now they're tackled in goal. Jack Bostock gets 2 upright. Carrying it back from the pass. And he's tackled in goal. Goal line dropout. The Roosters' defence. Immense there. Poor play from the Dolphins. They've gone asleep again, the Dolphins. They were asleep to start the match, and they've gone even more to sleep to start the second half. Oh, what that is just laziness there. The hammer, a very slow pass up for Bostock. Anyway, the Dolphins go short with the restart, and it's claimed by Nwanga Tuase. AP, ahoy, mate. "15 meters from the try line, the Roosters looking to make it very, very comfy for themselves here. Steep heads across field. He's brought down 10 out on play 3 to the left of the post. Tedesco at first receiver. Bumps off 1. Gets the offload away, Tedesco. Savala out to Toya. Toya steps back in field. Gets the offload. Still alive now. Siu Wong takes the line on. Wong's over the line, but he's held up and driven back into the field of play. 2 tackles left. Savala with the early kick in behind the line for Radley. Victor Radley scores. Radley gets a double. Give it to Angus Crichton, please. Well, the Roosters are destroying the Dolphins again here. Early in the first half and once again early in the second half. Can they keep the foot on the throat this time? Can they keep the foot on the throat? Savala, the little grubber in behind the line, sits up nicely for Victor Radley. And Victor gets a double. We've seen some doubles tonight, right? Try confirmed. Stone Street got a double. The Fox got a double. Victor Radley's got a double. $24 points to 8. Relatively simple kick at goal to come. $24 points to 8 is about to become 26. Victor Radley. Conversion successful from Hugo Savala. It's 26 points to 8. Dolphins, wake up. We saw this in the first half, though. The Roosters raced out to the early lead. The Dolphins hit back late in the first half. They've come out asleep again. And they're going to have to play catch-up. Oh, Richard Trainer, thank you very much for the super chat over there on the YouTube. Thank you, Victor. Sharing is caring. Cheers to that, Richard Trainer. Sharing is indeed caring. And, of course, a majority of the YouTube super chat donations go straight to Destiny Rescue. Destiny Rescue, a fantastic organization fighting against child trafficking and sexual slavery. So all power to them. And Richard Trainer, your contribution, as I've nearly destroyed my microphone, is very much appreciated, mate. As through the hands, they've created space again, the Roosters. Tupou in open space. He's got support on the inside, and it's a try now for Connor Watson. Connor Watson scores. They've gone length of the field here, the Roosters. 32 points to 8. It's going to be an absolute massacre. The Dolphins are just absolutely shot to pieces. $14 points to 8 at halftime. And what are we? 10 minutes into the second half? $14 points to 8 it was at halftime. Try confirmed. A 6-point lead at the halftime break is suddenly 30 points to 8 and looking insurmountable. Unreal. Con on TikTok says, go the Roosters. Quiz Juice says, everyone but my try scorers are scoring. The pain is real. Quiz Juice, the pain is very, very real. 2 ticks at the halftime break. All these tries in the second half. No further ticks for me. As Hugo Savala converts. 11 minutes into the second half. It was 14 points to 8 at the halftime break. 11 minutes into the second half, it is 32 points to 8. What the hell has gone on? The massacre has commenced. Flo Lacey says, I think it might be safe. Go to sleep now. Surely the Roosters can hold them off. Oh, famous last words there. Still with 30 minutes to play. Yeah, I mean, it would take a miracle effort from the Dolphins, but don't write off a miracle. Especially at Suncorp. Suncorp has been full of miracles. AP, thank you very much, mate, for the 6 roses. Over there on TikTok. Appreciate it. Roosters back out to the 40. Tedesco playing a lot at first receiver. 5th and last, just short of halfway. Savala with the kick. Taken on the full at the back by the Hammer. And Hammer meets a wall of Roosters chasers. And they keep him inside the 20. Jaden, ahoy, mate. Con reckons the Roosters will hit the half century. Well, if they keep up this kind of attack, they could go well beyond 50. Well beyond 50. Farnworth dances around, brings it out to the 40. 6 line breaks to 1. The Roosters dominating. Katoa shows it inside, out to Nikorima. Lined up to the right. Here's the Hammer to Avarillo. Brought down just inside Roosters territory. 5th and last. Katoa puts it high. A little too long there. There'll be no pressure put on this take. And Marky Mark's got it in midfield. Noanga Tuase now. Heads across. And he'll play it 10 meters out. Tedesco, again, very heavily involved here, Teddy. Very heavily involved in this game. In at first receiver, running from dummy half. This is the Teddy of old. A kick on tackle 4 from inside the 40. Bounces over the head of the hammer, but he collects it. It wasn't one hand, one bounce, but he did collect it. The Dolphins back in possession. Well, we know the Dolphins, they are a team that's capable of going back-to-back. And boy, do they need to. 6 tries to 1 at the moment in favor of the Rooster. So all the work to do. Richard Trainer, to answer your question, the missed tackles at the moment is now the Dolphins inside the 40. Marshall King will play it on the 5th and last. They're going to run it here. Nicarima to Farnworth. Farnworth gets the offload back infield. The grubber now into the end goal. And it sits up for Egan Butcher to carry it dead. It's a result for the Dolphins, though, out of nowhere, kind of. And Richard Trainer, the Dolphins have missed 26 tackles to the Roosters' 15. And they've had 19 ineffective tackles to the Roosters' 4. And the Roosters just racked up their 4th on that play. Roosters go deep with the restart. And winding up is Josh Kerr. And we got time off. What for? Who's going off for HIA? Nobody. Just told to play it on the mark, I think. Ray Stone. The Dolphins have just looked half asleep for large portions of this match. Marshall King, dummies open side, goes short side. Nicarima back into Farnworth. And Farnworth with the offload intercepted by Angus Crichton. Roosters back in possession. Really poor play there from Farnworth. And that is the scoreboard pressure pushing them into passes. Oh, Richard Trainer in with another super chat. You forgot about your 4 try scorers. Thank you, sir. Richard Trainer. To the kids. Destiny Rescue. And honestly, outside of super chatting on YouTube, Destiny Rescue, look them up. Just Google search to find out all the awesome work that they do. And do feel free to donate directly to a very, very worthy cause. 5th and last, the Roosters put the kick down to the hammer. And can the Dolphins try and get something going here? Asako brings it outside the 10, but they're just trapped in quicksand down their own end at the moment. Avarillo brings it outside the 20. Here's the hammer in midfield. Shuffles it on to Bostock. All the Dolphins' big guns have just been so quiet here in this game. The Roosters have been doing a great job on them defensively. Katoa will kick from inside the 40. Finds some space, but no threat of a 40-20. It just bobbles into touch. 25 out from the Roosters line. And they will get the ball back. The Roosters. Quick break here. I'll be right back. Oh, big carry here from Nafahu White. Tedesco at first receiver again. Well, is Tedesco a future, as he winds down in his career, is he a future 6 or 7 as Watson heads across field? 5th and last now, 12 out. Savala with the crossfield kick. Marky Mark bats it back. It's for Toya. Puts the fend on, slips, and that'll be the handover. Robert Toya, unlucky there. Slips over. Billy Smith is still out there. Yes, box fit. Z-Talk says Billy Smith and Farnworth for my multi. Come on. And there is Billy Smith racing up and putting the hit on the Dolphins, keeping them inside their own 20. Just struggling for anything at the moment, the Dolphins. I've never seen them this bad. Outside the 30 now, Nikarima. Flat pass at best. Maybe slightly forward to Finafuaki. Quick play the ball. The Hammer scoops it up. Goes up to halfway. Offloads back for Marshall King. Marshall King on the fifth and last, just inside Roosters territory. Katoa puts it high. Dolphins chase hard, put pressure on. Tedesco's there, but so too is Marky Mark. And Nwanga Toase brings it back outside the 20 for the Rooster. Box fit. You need Billy Smith and Jake Avarillo to score for your 8-leg to hit. Oh, an 8-legger. Bold. I love it. Connor Watson down the left-hand edge. Here's Angus Crichton. I need him for any time try. Seems like a lot of people have gone Billy Smith, ATS, or ATT. ATS. ATS, anytime try scorer. Yeah, ATS. Had to think about that. Angus Crichton comes up with the spilt ball. The Dolphins, this will be their best field position of the second half. Scrum on halfway. Can they march themselves downfield? Here's Katoa at the back for Nikarima. Now the Hammer's up in the line, but he's wrapped up by Marky Mark. 20 minutes to go in this game. 32 points to 8. Lemuelu taken 30 out just to the left of the post. Gilbert shows it inside, goes out for Katoa. And he's cut down just outside the 20. A few tackles left. Gilbert again. Straight up the guts. 10 meters from the line. A couple of tackles left. Nice quick play the ball speed here. Nikarima inside for Farnworth. Farnworth just to the left of the post. Fifth and last. Marshall King out to Katoa. Short ball to Ray Stone, and he's lost it. Oh, Ray Stone, you goofy magoo.
Gosh.
The line was wide open. He just had to fall over, and the try was his. Well, in fairness, that's been batted out by Billy Smith. Billy Smith with the try-saving dive has whacked the ball out. Oh, that's got to be worth. Saving a try has got to be worth awarding a try to Billy Smith for those people's multis out there, surely. Come on, bookmakers. Do the right thing. That was a try saver. And he deserves a tick for that. That's what I reckon anyway. Absolute try saver. Billy Smith take a bow, diving across and whacking the ball out of the hands of Ray Stone. And now, speaking of the ball out of the hands, Angus Crichton has dropped it again. The second time in 2 carries for Angus Crichton. He has spilt the ball on halfway. And that's just inviting the Dolphins back here. We know the Dolphins can go back to back. They've got the players capable of it. The Hammer in open space. Nikarima, Katoa. You don't want to invite them back into this contest. And Angus Crichton has done that with 2 drop balls on the halfway mark. And here they come again, the Dolphins. You don't want to give too many chances. Not to anybody. 30 meters out from the line here on play 3. You feel like they've pretty much got to get it done now, the Dolphins. It's going to take a miracle comeback regardless. But they obviously absolutely have to get it done here. Nikarima inside for Farnworth. Gets away from the first tackle. Farnworth cut down. 10 from the line. He's looking threatening, Herbie the Love Bug. Nichols stands in the tackle. a metre short. Fifth and last. They go right. Katoa out the back to the Hammer. Hammer beats Asako. Asako is driven over the sideline. The Roosters defense, immaculate. 10 out of 10 for the Roosters defense. And it's looking like they're going to get it done here, the Roosters. It's a long, long way back for the Dolphin. 16 minutes left to play. James Tedesco, a man of the match performance. Roosters with the offload. Wong bumps off the first tackle. Goes again. Brings it outside the 20. A lot of nominations from the Roosters, to be fair, in terms of man of the match. Outside the 40, Spencer Leniu back on. Beats the first tackle. Nikorima holds on, brings him down. Docker Clay finds some space, offloads, forward pass. And it's been knocked on by Farnworth. There should be a Dolphins ball. Forward pass from Docker Clay, knocked on by Farnworth. 15 minutes to play, 32 points to 8. Dolphins will get this 40 out from their own line. Time continues to just wind down here. The Dolphins haven't really fired a shot. In midfield, Dolphins. Tackle one, just short of halfway. 14 minutes left. Can they make it somewhat interesting? As O'Sullivan heads across field. Nikorima back inside for the Hammer. Hammer scores. Well, the Hammer just has too much pace. And the Hammer bags a double. It's the night of doubles. Stone Street with a double. The Fox with a double. Victor Radley with a double. And now the Hammer has bagged a second. It is the night of doubles. Magic round, Friday night footy. Double Jones. Try confirmed. And they needed that, the Dolphins. They're flirting with danger here, the Roosters. I mean, look, it's probably pretty comfortable for them at the moment. They should win. 32-12, kick to come. 13 minutes remaining. But they are flirting with danger here. The Dolphins are capable of going back-to-back. Half a gap is all the Hammer needs. He just outpaced everybody. Half a gap. Most players don't score that try. The Hammer went through with ease. As Asako converts, it's 32 points to 14. They could get very squeaky bums at the back end of this game if they're not careful, the Roosters. Really got to make sure that they close this out. Roosters get us back underway. 13 minutes to play. 32-14. I mean, if the Dolphins go back-to-back here, 32 points to 20 going into the final 10 minutes. Oh, forget about it. Slow play the ball, risking a penalty. Nichols in midfield. Katoa, 30 out, hands it off inside. That's play 4. Racing through this set. Katoa. Inside ball almost opens up. Nichols Gets the offload away. Katoa on the wraparound. They're 40 out here. Fifth and last. Katoa's been taken out of the line. Nikarima then forced to do the kicking. It's a decent one. Pressure on. Bostock goes through. Marky Mark loses it. It's there for the Dolphins. 10 meters out. Oh, this game is not over yet. 10 meters out. Numbers to the left. Katoa pops it over the top for Herbie Farnworth. And Herbie the Love Bug scores. It's a third tick off the multi. Are you joking me? Herbie Farnworth scores. The Dolphins have essentially gone back to back. It's going to be a 12-point margin with 12 to play. It is not over. Not over by a long shot. Herbie Farnworth gets our third tick off the multi. 1 to go. Angus Crichton. Angus Crichton. Can he step up and land the killer blow for the Roosters? Conversion successful from Asako. It's 32 points to 20. Do not think for 1 second this game is over. This game is far from over. 10 minutes to play. 2 converted tries the difference. Holy hell. We were not expecting this. It is still game on here. Mookie says same game Radley. Same game Radley. Same game multi. Radley. Watson. Hammer. You just need Angus Crichton as well. Come on, Angus. All right, we need Angus Crichton to score the match winner. It's worth $1.5 grand to me. And Mookie, I'd have to say that multi is worth a pretty penny as well. Radley, Watson, Bordeaux. And let's see what they're offering me for a cash out, as I just got my third leg all ticked off there. They're having a laugh, aren't they? $47.20. I can't believe that. I've got 3 legs out of the 4. With 10... Okay, granted, there's only 10 minutes left to play. A cash-out offer of $47.20. They are taking the piss. Fifth and last. 40 meters out. Katoa puts it high. It's been lost forward by the Hammer. And the Roosters are off the hook there. Oh, boy. That would have been interesting. Roosters just need to settle things down here. 2 converted tries the difference. 9 minutes left to play. This has wound up being a bit closer than we anticipated, right? Going down to the wire, but that's what we like. Tedesco straight up the middle. Where's his support? Where's Angus? Tedesco goes on his own. He's brought down 20 out from the line. Front foot ball here for the Roosters. All right. Where's Angus Crichton? Spencer Lenu bumps off 1. 10 meters out. Loose pass into midfield. Docker Clay onto Nafahu White. Tackle 4. Crash ball, Angus Crichton. Come on. 6 more. A set restart late in the tackle count. Pichetti cuts back in field. I don't know if Angus is still out there. Maybe that's why the cash out was so poor. Robert Toya steps back in field and scores the match winner. Robert Toya with the match winning try. Bags himself a double as well, I'm pretty sure. It is the night of doubles. Robert Toya, take a bow. Yeah, I don't think Angus Crichton's even still out there. Robert Toya scores the first try, scores the match winner, try confirmed. The Roosters 36, Dolphins 20. What a performance. Robert Toya. A double and to land the knockout punch. Seven minutes to play. They've opened up a comfortable lead now. Surely insurmountable. Hugo Savala. The conversion attempt. Hooks it off to the left. The shocker. 36 points to 20, though. Should be safe now for the Roosters. We're 2 for 2 tonight in the tipping. Sitting on a perfect round. Liking how that's going at the moment for Magic Round. Dolphins short with the restart. They bat it back and have the ball. Nikorima takes it to ground. 6 minutes to play. Runaway intercept try for Angus Crichton here. Gonna happen. Gonna happen. Unfortunately, though, Angus wouldn't have the pace, would he? So he'd have to offload to somebody else. 20 out from the line here on play 4. The Dolphins in midfield. Bring it down this near side. Nikorima. Short ball. Off the hip to Molo, who offloads back to the Hammer. Hammer dances in midfield. Gives it to Kerr in front of the posts. Fifth and last. Penalty to the Dolphins right out in front. Roosters inside the 10. Take the 2. They tap and go. Nichols, 5 meters out to the right of the posts. 5 minutes left to play. Here's Josh Kerr. Offloads back to O'Sullivan. Through the hands now. Nikorima dummies and goes through a gaping hole. Cody Nikorima scores. 5 minutes left to play. 36 points to 24. The kick to come. They're coming back again, the Dolphins. Cody Nikorima. The Roosters, they keep dropping off, thinking the job is done. Conversion successful here from Jermaine Asako. 10 points the difference. 36-26. 4 minutes left to play. Well, if they can go back to back here. A lot of ifs, buts, and maybes here. 36-26. This has been a high-scoring game. It'll be very interesting to see what the ground is like by the time those Sunday games roll around. Looks like it's held up pretty well after tonight. I mean, we're 4 minutes away from the end of Friday night footy. The turf seems like it's held up quite well. So Saturday should be all good. It's the Sunday games that I'm a tad concerned about. Will this turf hold up? Dolphins back in possession now from the kickoff. 4 minutes to play. Front foot ball. Short pass from Katoa to Tom Gilbert. 40 out from their own line here, the Dolphins. Nikorima at first receiver. Shows it inside. Now he links up with Katoa. Numbers here to the right. Hammer gives it off inside, though, and they start to head back across field. Averillo wrapped up. Still inside their own half, the Dolphins. Now they go into Rooster territory. Kerr offloads. O'Sullivan to Nichols. Nichols 40 out. Fifth and last. This is it here for the Dolphins. They need a result here. Katoa puts it a little bit too heavy, and Tedesco will take this easily. Tedesco's ball. Roosters have it. Isaiah Katoa is just overcooked it a little bit there. And the Roosters should be home now. 10 points the difference. 3 minutes to play. Tedesco from dummy half. Bumps off one. Oh, and then he's hit hard, and the tackle over the top from Lemuelu. Francis Molo it was. My apologies. Fifth and last for the Roosters. Savala puts it into the corner. Taken by Bostock on the full. 3 minutes to play. No tries for Billy Smith, I'm afraid, TKD, but he did save one. He saved a try, which is not really worth anything to people who had him in the multi, but what I'm suggesting is it should be. As the Dolphins now spill it, Jake Gavarillo with the mistake. And the Roosters dive on the loose ball. They're home now. Home and hosed. 2 minutes to play. 0 tackle. They can just wind down the clock now. We were an Angus Crichton short of a 4-leg miracle multi. And it would have been a miracle multi. The 4-legger. So close yet so far. .25 from the line here on play 3. Nafahu White carries up the middle. A minute and a half to play. Crash ball for Angus Crichton. Come on. Tedesco. Fends off one. Fends off again. Tedesco, 10 meters out. Fifth and last. Docker Clay goes open side. Connor Watson. It's been intercepted by the Dolphins, and Isaiah Katoa comes away with it. Well, Angus Crichton was there, but unfortunately didn't get the ball. Dolphins now from inside their own 10. Can they launch an attack this final set of 6 of the game to make it a very, very respectable scoreline? The scoreline probably flatters the Dolphins a little bit. I don't think that's too harsh to say. They kick early here on play 3. Needing the bounce, and it's scooped up by Mark Nwanga Tawase, who now counterattacks and brings it back over halfway with 30 seconds to play. It's still on here for Angus. 40 meters out from the line, Robert Toya. Robert Toya or James Tedesco. That's my choices for man of the match. Nafahu White in midfield. 10 seconds remaining. They go left for Crichton. Angus Crichton not interested in the try at all. And that will be full time as Angus Crichton takes the final tackle of the game. The Roosters have won 36 points to 26. 2 for 2 from the tipping to open up Magic Round. A fantastic start Friday night footy. And if I'm not mistaken, 2 10-point ball games. If I'm not mistaken. Sharks winning 28-18. Roosters winning 36-26. Oh, okay. Get your money on 10-point margins tomorrow, huh? 2 games tonight, 2 10-point margins. There we go. Roosters getting the job done. James Tedesco or Robert Toya, man of the match for mine. What do you think, chat room? Who do we have for man of the match? Those are my choices. My choices, Tedesco or Toya. Teddy says heart ticker. He was pretty good tonight, Teddy, wasn't he? Robert Toya, of course, got the first try, got the match winner. He was immense with every carry. Tedesco was just popping up everywhere, though, wasn't he? Very good performance from Teddy. Quick break, and we'll be right back. In the short break, let's enjoy the James Tedesco song. Because, well, he didn't lose his pants tonight, Teddy. But he had a good game nonetheless. 1, 2, 3, 4. Teddy lost his shorts again.
1, 2, 3, 4. Teddy lost his shorts again. He's burning down the sideline. Boots blur, defenders flatline. Eyes on the prize, he don't even flinch. Till his shorts get yanked and we all get a glimpse. Oh, he's got the moves, he's got the pace. The fullback fire, no one can chase. But every second game without fail, he moves the crowd like his tail's from the tail. Tedesco's got that power peach. Tears through lines like a one-man breach. Every try a cheeky show, 'cause someone always grabs too low. He's the king with the runaway pants. Flashing footy fans from the stands. Might lose his kit, but never the ball. He scores, they cheer, we've seen it all.
So, UFC says Sandon Smith was man of the match. I love the sort of dark irony in that comment. I really do. Because think about it. If Sandon Smith doesn't leave the field and fail his HIA, the Roosters may not have accidentally unlocked this combination that they've unlocked. Now, Sandon Smith, for mine, as long as Sam Walker is out injured, Sandon Smith is a walk-up starter in this squad. He starts. But the Roosters have found some immaculate backup, haven't they? Connor Watson shifted from 9 out to 6. Tedesco started to get very heavily involved in at first receiver. They might have just accidentally unlocked something here, the Roosters. And that is all thanks to Sandon Smith. Sandon Smith having to go off for the HIA. I love it, UFC. The dark irony of that comment just hits me. All right, Wasted World of Sports. Friday night footy. 10-point margins in both games. You can't believe it. Magic Round does, of course, continue tomorrow. What have we got coming up tomorrow? Here on the Wasted World of Sports. Tomorrow's games are Rabbitohs Knights, Warriors Cowboys, Tigers Dragons. Let's see what's happening in the rugby union. All right, if I'm up early enough, I will do the Fijian Drua versus the Reds, just so that I can say that I've done some rugby. Look, chances are I won't be, but we'll keep an eye on that. Outside of that, the Hurricanes-Chiefs game should be good, but I don't think the Hurricanes-Chiefs should outweigh that Warriors-Cowboys game. That's just my personal opinion. A Super Rugby game has to be just a blockbuster to outweigh an NRL clash in my mind, especially on Magic Round. If this was just a regular round, not Magic Round, I'd probably do the Hurricanes Chiefs over the Cowboys Warriors. But there's just something about Magic Round. Well, it's magic. So that's what we've got coming up tomorrow. And of course, don't forget this weekend as well. Formula One is back. We love doing the Formula One, as we've discovered. That was a very unintentional thing that we started doing Formula One streams. Or not necessarily unintentional that we started doing them, but unintentional that it sort of caught on, and we're now making a regular thing of it. So that's the unintentional thing. Okay, so if you would like some more Wasted World of Sports, we're going to share a link here in the chat room to our most recent podcast, Dan and the Old Panther, discussing all things head-high contact and what the future might look like there in terms of the NRL and the high contact laws, a little bit of a deep dive into that and how other sports may be influencing what we're seeing out there on the field with regards to the head-high crackdown. Outside of that, I shall take my leave now, and we'll be back tomorrow. A couple of fun games here tonight. 10-point margins in both. Sharks and the Roosters victorious. One leg short, painfully, of the same game multi. Oh, well, we do get that $50 stake back, and we can go again tomorrow. See what we come up with in terms of multis. Painfully short. Bugger it. Wasted World of Sports, thank you so much. And I will catch you tomorrow. Until then, cheers, yes.